Another dose of World Gymnastics champions for you here on Eurosport. Good morning. It's the men's all-around final we'll be focusing on. It's the 2003 World Championships in Anaheim in the USA. With me, John Peary, the former British schools national coach, now a gymnastics consultant working with the top clubs in Britain. And John, we're looking forward to what should be, if the team finals are anything to go by, another cracking evening of gymnastics.
It should be tremendous, Vassos. I'm really looking forward to it. Men's gymnastics, so exciting, so dynamic, so strong.
Marian Dragulescu of Romania, the first to go in this first rotation. 6 apparatus in the men's game, of course. Dragulescu about to start his floor routine. Last year's individual apparatus World Championships, he took gold on the floor. That was in Debrecen, or Debrecen, as we learned to pronounce it in Hungary. We're underway.
That's a fantastic opening. Double layout somersault with a full twist, immediately punch front somersault, 1 1/4. That will cost him dearly. Step out of the floor area costs him 0.1. Flares through to split. First done by Thomas, American. Now his last tumble. Double twisting, double back. Fantastic.
Just what you'd expect from the reigning world champion on the floor. Careless, though. Careless to put a foot out.
Yeah, when they're doing these multiple combination somersaults, you've only got to be inches out, leaning forwards, leaning backwards. And the precision, which you can see here, is just offline through the diagonal, which should have taken him exactly to the corner.
It'll be reflected in his mark. Dragulescu, who qualified 5th for the all-around finals, keeping up a very strong gymnastics tradition from Romania. They just seem to produce them. 9.550 for Dragulescu. It's a decent start. He'd have been hoping for a little better.
I'm sure he would. That could have easily have been around 9.7 had it not been for the step out of the floor area.
It's Yang Wei of China on the pommel horse. Silver medalist in 2000 at the Olympic Games in the all-around event.
You saw him just touch the pommel handle there and his legs separated. The judges will definitely have noticed that. Very uncharacteristic. Shears with half turn. And the almost obligatory handstand dismount. Good routine, but I think he'll be a little disappointed with that.
Yes, we are watching the top gymnasts on the planet. Tiny mistakes is what they're wanting to avoid. It'll still be a very good mark, but as you say, again, almost a little rusty.
Yeah, he doesn't swing quite as good as perhaps his younger compatriots. He's a little tight in the shoulders.
Businesslike. And a businesslike score as well. 9.587. Certainly no disaster.
Strong man's piece of apparatus. The rings. It's important to watch the held elements to be assured that the shoulders are totally level with the rings. Try doing that at home on your floor. Shoulders touch high. Boy, this guy's strong.
Eric Lopez Rios of Cuba. Powerhouse.
Gymnasts must combine swing with strength. Normally the swing coming at the end of the routine, just preceding the dismount.
Wobbles there on the handstand. Good dismount though. Eric Lopez Rios will be pleased with that. 9.637. The best mark we've seen so far on that particular piece of apparatus. 6 rotations, remember. Paul Ham of the United States of America. 4th place on the floor last year in the World Championships. Helped his team to silver in the competition 2 days ago here, but he is assured, I mean, listen to that, he is assured of an awful lot of home support. They do get behind their own here.
Fantastic second combination. Open with double twisting, double back straight. A bit of break dancing there. Nice combination, originality that the judges are looking for. The obligatory lift to handstand. And the obligatory balance. Normally the rest period before their final big tumble. He needs a good one. Double layout, nailed. The Americans will be happy with that.
And how? He needed a good one. He got a good one. Try telling him, apart from his brother, incidentally, they look awfully similar. Paul Ham, pressure on him. He qualified 2nd for this all-around final, and he's bidding to become the first American since Kurt Thomas, you mentioned him, who won silver in '79. So Ham trying to become the first medalist in some 25 years. A very good start, a very good start. Look at that dismount.
It's always great to get a good first routine under your belt, and floor's a nice piece of apparatus to start on. You can relax a little bit, you're comfortable with your tumbles.
Well, it's better than a good start for Paul Ham. It's an excellent start. 9.625. He's 2nd behind Lopez Rios of Cuba, but the rings are his speciality. Further down, look, the Spanish gymnast Victor Cano in 9th position. He'll be pleased with that. Tomita, 15th after the first rotation. 6 pieces of apparatus, and as the name would suggest, they rather rotate. So Ham has started on the floor. Next up for him, it's the pommel horse.
Again, original work moving across the horse between the handles to start with. Magyar walk.
John, perhaps you could give us an idea of just how difficult this particular piece of apparatus is. When you see Paul Ham doing it like this, it looks easy.
I agree with that. He definitely is performing very well. The pommel horse is pretty much to men like the beam is to women. A moment's loss of balance one way or the other and you're off. But he's off with a great dismount.
He's on fire. He is on fire. Great floor routine. If anything, that was better on the pommel horse.
He's certainly cooking. As the Americans would say, he's up for it. And this would be his bogey piece if there were going to be one. Fantastic.
Many gymnasts see the pommel and the beam, I guess, as a necessary evil.
Yes.
Not quite so evil when you're in the mood and in the middle of a practically flawless routine like that. Great stuff.
And
great stuff.
He knew it.
9-7, the mark on the pommel. Deserved as well. He
Brilliant.
takes the early lead, and well, if he keeps this up, it won't just be a medal, it will be gold for Paul Ham. But 4 pieces of apparatus to go. It's still very early. Tsukahara of Japan. Let's see what he can do on the pommel.
Son of the legendary Tsukahara from the 70s, who invented the vault. He once said to a British gymnast, Eddie Arnold, this is Tsukahara's father, "I can only do at my age one of 2 things, either warm up or compete." And he could compete exceptionally well. And see what his son can do.
Yeah, you always feel sorry for athletes who have legendary parents. It's not easy when you have that sort of shadow over your entire career. People don't mention him without mentioning his father. It can't be easy, but he's, I guess, over the years learned to cope with it. And here he is at the very top level, competing for his country, Japan.
Very difficult mount. When you see them turning on one handle, there are only just enough space on the handle for 3 hand placements. So you put your hand in the wrong place and all of a sudden you run out of space. But he'll take that.
Couple of very small errors. The judges will have picked up on those, but as you say, he'll take that. He qualified first for this final. More pressure on him. 9.675 was his mark in the qualifiers on the pommel horse. And that routine, well, around about the same mark. You see there, just a small error.
There, a little error. You could see how heavily he landed.
But we're talking millimeters, and the errors were very small. Exactly the same mark on the horse, 9.675. He'll be disappointed, though, with the mark from his floor routine. He's lying 4th currently. Another of the top Japanese gymnasts, Hiroyuki Tomita.
Many years, pommel horse used to be the Japanese problem.
If anything, it's Tomita's speciality.
He's now solved it, or they have solved it. Nikolai Andrianov has spent many years in Japan helping them, the ex-Soviet gymnast from the 70s. This is good swinging. High leg lifts, very important in single leg work.
It doesn't look like much of a problem for Tomita. That's the best we've seen on the pommel horse. And frankly, there are always going to be people who like the beam in the women's and like the pommel in the men's, and Tomita's certainly one of those. Wonderful athlete. 9.737 his qualifying mark. But John, a great routine that, wasn't it?
Superb. Look how he's focusing on his body staying forward in the swing, trying to extend his hips forward as his legs swing to the front.
9.737. Once again, the judges have given the same mark. Thoroughly deserved, the best pommel routine we've seen yet. Sven Kwiatkowski, the German. He's about to embark on his parallel bar routine.
Interesting opening. Very different. Healy from one bar and Healy on the second bar. There's a little mistake in handstand. Little hop sideways to land in, but a good routine. Not exceptional in terms of the overall standard. Stock routine, little bit of originality in the Healy from one bar. But I'm sure he'd be happy with that.
Original, a few little mistakes again. The judges do tend to notice.
That's their job, Bassos. Nice high double pike, little hop to one side. He'd be pleased to be here in the top 24 all around. That's a good result for the Germans.
Certainly is. Third reserve he was, Kwiatkowski. And 9.225 his mark. Yerimbetov will be hoping for rather better, the Kazakhstani.
I like that a lot. Under somersault with half turn. Giant swing with full turn. Double back. And a good extension kick out. This is excellent. That's good work. Good original work.
9.612. I'd go as far as to call it a great routine. Yang Wei on the rings. Desperate to win gold. He didn't like silver, did he, in Sydney? But that's what he had to settle for. Certainly one of the few gymnasts who are coming to Anaheim and setting their sights solely on gold.
Inverted cross, wobbling around a little. Double layout, stuck once more. Excellent solid routine. Good strength work, good swing work, very accurate, as most of the Chinese are.
Last year in Hungary, it was bronze on the vault, his only medal. But we really are seeing, John, very, very high level of competition here. I mean, these are athletes at the top of their form, producing the goods under pressure.
Yeah, and the Chinese are just so accurate. They may not always produce it on the day, and they're often prone to making mistakes. But more often not, their accuracy is tremendous, their precision fantastic.
Well, Yang Wei, with his precision, it's taking him into second place. Paul Ham leading. Two wonderful routines from him so far. And Dragulescu back in 16th position. We'll have more from the men's all-around final after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back to Anaheim, the 2003 World Artistic Gymnastics Championships, the men's all-round final. And a picture of the leader, Paul Ham, of the USA. 6 pieces of apparatus for each gymnast. He's leading after 2 rotations. Here he goes on the rings.
Good start, Maltese cross. Kip, and back we go again. Very high strength difficulty.
Here's a man with a point to prove. 2 years ago at the World Championships in Ghent in Belgium, he looked all set to win the all-round gold medal until a hard fall off the high bar or horizontal bar on his last rotation cost him all hopes of a medal. Let's see how he reacts if he's leading after 5 rotations again this time around. A business-like performance on the rings from Paul Ham.
I think business-like's a good description. Nothing's exceptional. Very accurate, enough. Difficulty, full twisting, double back straight somersault to dismount. Most of the top gymnasts don't risk that difficult dismount because of the step that you could see Paul just take there on landing. So that would have cost him a 10.
Fair to say, though, not his favourite piece of apparatus, so he'll be pleased, I guess, with a business-like score. Which is exactly what he gets. 9,475 takes his points total to 28,800, and he retains first position. Eric Lopez Rios of Cuba lying third after 2 rotations, a third of the way around. The P-bars. Each gymnast has their own specific way of preparing for a routine. It's just a case of getting the mind organised as much as putting chalk on the bars, isn't it?
Yeah, each gymnast, some of them use sugar water, orange mixture to try and avoid slipping, obviously, from the bars. Some gymnasts prefer chalk on the bars, others want it all off. The Cuban Suarez from many years ago performed some exceptional work on parallel bars. We'll see if Eric can follow in his footsteps. Interesting board placement. Wow, that's powerful. And that is. Straddle cut to catch. Don't see many of those these days. Apart from the step, that was very, very powerful, very original, exceptional work.
Great stuff. Certainly one to look out for. He's proving that. Powerful on rings. And as you say, original and powerful on the parallel bars.
Just noticed a line on his feet, or a little Doc Martin, we call it. Looks as if he's wearing a pair of boots. But his work, tremendous work. Standard, Stutz to handstand, double back dismount. Here we go again. Under somersault with half turn to handstand. Whoosh. Front uprise with half turn to handstand. Under somersault with beautifully straight arms to handstand. Under somersault half turn. Double back somersault. Great routine.
You really get the idea of how hard it is and how powerful it is from that camera angle above. 9-6 the score. He remains very much in contention. So does this man, Yang Wei of China. His vault. Vaulting horse these days, and just one chance to get it right. And the step aside, get it right, he most certainly did. 9.637.
Kazumatsu vault with double twist.
Takes over the lead from Paul Ham. Hiroyuki Tomita on the rings.
Very light frame gymnast. That's strong, very strong. During his strength work, he almost looks as if he's just sitting in the armchair watching television. Now the swing work. Forward giants to handstand. Double layout, very small step. He'll be exceptionally pleased with that.
Judges liked it too. 9.662. Puts him in the melting pot. Yang Wei of China leads the way, but not by much from Paul Ham, Lopez Rios. All of them have a chance. Jason Gatton, a couple of mistakes in the final. 2 gymnasts from each country allowed to compete in the all-around event. Gatton had a good qualifying as well. He was 4th place to Ham's 2nd.
The new vaulting table allows a greater margin for error at takeoff, and with a lot of the gymnasts now, both men and women, performing blind vaults, that is to say, you approach the horse from a round off and jump backwards at it. It's far safer, and as I mentioned earlier, allows for a far greater margin of error. And we haven't seen too many errors so far, Assos.
Well, very few from this man. He's lying 2nd, halfway through this final. And off he goes.
That's exactly the vault that I was referring to.
And the errors you were referring to, small ones.
Little step. I'm not sure if I saw his foot move outside that tram line. The round-off entry, Yurchenko entry, back somersault with 2.5 twist. Did he take a step out?
Oh, yes,
yes,
big one.
He did. That's deductible.
9.537. Well, he goes into 1st place, but...
Well, he'll take that.
Yeah, Yang Wei yet to go. He's next up on the P-bars. Leading by less than half a point. And with every rotation, the pressure just cranks up another notch as we approach the business end of the final. Lots of...
Ooh, little correction there in handstand. Very difficult. Front up rise, double back somersault. Healy. Double pike back somersault. Hop half turn to handstand. Another double tuck somersault. Good routine, little errors like we saw before on pommel horse. Maybe just slightly off tune.
Yeah, I was going to say lots of waiting around. 24 competitors make it through to the final. you wait, you try and stay focused, you try and stay warm ahead of your turn on each piece of apparatus.
You can see the legs there a little. Of course, in slow motion, it's much easier to pick out. The judges don't have that opportunity. And again, the left leg and the hop back. A good routine, but he knows that he would have performed that better.
9.587. Well, good enough to extend his lead nearly 0.1 of a point.
I like this guy. Romanian women for many years have been at the forefront of Romania's gymnasts. The men over the last years have really excelled themselves. Whoa.
Oh, that's stunning. That is stunning from Dragulescu. Oh, that's what he can do when he gets it right. 7th place only on the vault last year in Hungary. If it produced that, I dare say it might have been gold.
That was fantastic. The height, 3 somersaults and a half turn, as damn it, nailed. Take something off that if you dare, judges.
As close to perfection as you're likely to see. An enormously difficult vault, performed beautifully.
Fantastic.
Oh, great stuff from Dragulescu. Look at the Romanians, they love it. That's why we come here, to see gymnasts of the highest order producing the goods when it matters. 9.850. And if anything, that's a little harsh.
I would agree with that. Yokchev. Ooh, that's original. That hurt. Oh, right on his chest. You could see he was offline on the Healy, slightly offline then. That hurt. Ouch. Ouch.
Well, he took 2 medals home from Hungary. Not, it has to be said, on this piece of apparatus. He was bronze medalist on the floor and took silver on the rings. Hasn't quite produced his top form in Anaheim yet. Still the individual apparatus finals to go. And there goes Yokchev's chance of a medal, you'd imagine.
Definitely. Of course, now living in America, he can smile about it.
8.725. Well, I guess, if anything, that's generous. We're 2/3 of the way through this all-around final for men. It's China from the USA, from Kazakhstan. But watch out for the Japanese, too. 2 more rotations to come, numbers 5 and 6, and they will decide the medals. Whatever you do, do not go away. It is the business end of the men's all-around final at this year's World Artistic Gymnastics Championships in Anaheim in the United States. Tsukahara Sanov lying just outside a medal place. Qualified for the final in 1st place, but he needs a good routine to haul himself up into 3rd or 2nd. I think it's going to be between, mistakes aside, Ham and Yang Wei for gold. But there's plenty who could grab bronze, including this man. He likes the P-bars. It's his 5th rotation of 6.
Relatively easy mount, so he'll have some big stuff coming now. Very clean work. Sometimes very interesting just to watch the toes and feet. Just to see if they separate. Great routine. Great routine.
Good stuff from Tsukahara. It's not often you hear. Sometimes it's interesting to watch the toes and feet, but you're absolutely right. It does give a very good indication of how the routine is going.
You'll notice the little armbands they have, sweatbands around their bicep, triceps. They're to avoid friction burns when they do these double somersaults between the bars. Obviously they're coming down from a height. And they do get significant burns underneath their arms if they were not to wear those.
9.687 his score provisionally, but the leader's yet to go in first place. It could, you know, come down to a battle for bronze between Tsukahara and this man, Hiroyuki Tomita. Tomita with this P-bar routine, and then the high bar to come in his final rotation. Tsukahara will be on the floor. And I'll tell you what, they may be teammates, but that has only increased the desire to finish top Japanese gymnast, and if possible in the medals. He knows what he's got to follow. 9.687 from Tsukahara, who's currently lying fifth. Tomita currently fourth.
Great respect that the Japanese have for the sport. Stoop through dismount, quarter turn in, under somersault, half turn, under somersault, giant swing double toe. This will be good. This will be very good.
And is.
Such ease. Back up rise to handstand. Wow. Oh. Just a step on landing. That was very difficult to fault. Exceptional work.
Watched his teammate, knew what he had to do, and did it.
No separation of the legs, feet glued together, exactly how it should be. What a shame on the dismount. Oh, tremendous. Tremendous work. Coach is happy. It's always a good sign.
Got to keep the coach happy, as he kept the judges happy. Well, yes, he has the same mark as his teammate, 9.687. I think we both thought it was rather better than that. This man, Roman Zuzulya of the Ukraine, he's about to go on the high bar. The crowd-pleasing piece of apparatus.
Definitely hugely dynamic, explosive, flying, acrobatics, turns. Nemov, who isn't in this all-around final because he only competed 4 pieces of apparatus. He has 5 release and catch movements. Sorry, 6. 4 of them follow each other immediately.
The great Alexei Nemov, Russian gymnast. We'll be seeing him in the individual apparatus finals over the weekend.
Wow, that's hard. Here's the coach, a little anxious. You can tell it's very nerve-wracking being under the men's high bar routine. Excellent, excellent work. A lot of the precision required on men's high bar is through the movements going to handstand. Perhaps he wasn't quite as accurate through handstand as he might like to have been. Like there, for example, where he caught the bar very low. That would be deducted. But nonetheless, some exceptionally difficult work. There, you can see he's almost horizontal by the time he catches the bar, and again, which is why the coach was a little apprehensive.
The thoughts of John Perry, former British schools national coach, now a gymnastics consultant. And John, while we watch this dismount again, Suzulia with no chance of medaling. Let us know how a former international volleyball player becomes a gymnastics consultant. And what exactly is a gymnastics consultant?
I spend time by being invited by clubs in Great Britain. There are many top women professional clubs now in the country, most of them with very young coaches, trying to glean a little bit more information, which hopefully I can offer them.
And volleyball to gymnastics, is that a natural progression? It doesn't strike me as being particularly natural.
Well, I love the sport of gymnastics, but at 6'2", swinging on the rings and high bar were a bit of a problem for me. I used to touch the floor with my feet, so swinging round was difficult, to say the least.
Yerenbetov of Kazakhstan, about to embark on his pommel routine.
Very different start. Sheer work. There's nothing in the code that says you have to start with double leg circles, though most do. Original start. Good work, good extension. And just said that. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that from Yerenbetov. He has the high bar to come, and he's in the mix for a medal. And certainly will remain so after a routine like that.
Good work.
Always a great view, this.
Just keeping yourself on balance. I thought towards the end of the routine there he was beginning to tighten up, but that's fantastically difficult. Here the hips just come a little close to his hands. Some great work. Maybe over the moon. Over the moon.
It's difficult, and it was very well executed. 9.662 his mark.
It's a great score.
Remains in the mix. First place, the top two to come. Yang Wei of China, desperate for gold. He has the high bar and then the floor. Paul Ham, lying in second place, has the P bars and then the high bar, and very little to separate them. There's one battle going on for gold and silver, and there's another for bronze. And it was the high bar that undid him rather in the Olympic Games, dropped him down to silver.
Tuck Kojak. Kovacs, not Kojak. Healy turn, Healy. Well, that's very difficult. Very difficult. Fantastically difficult work. He's definitely not on song.
Well, there was a step on off the dismount.
Medals are won and lost by the precision of dismounts, and as we've seen today, pommel horse, parallel bars and high bar, he's just making those small errors that allow the judges to take a tenth, or in that case in dismount from high bar, possibly 2/10. And that can become significant. It adds up almost to a fall, half a mark, if you keep adding up these dismount deductions.
I think it will be enough to keep him in a battle with Ham for gold and silver. Ham yet to go, of course. And, well, a big error. One big error, and all chance of a medal is gone. And you're right, there were little mistakes there, especially here.
They're very low landing, big step.
But, yes, 9.612 he's been given. Possibly a tiny bit generous, but it was a good routine.
Good routine.
And he's still up there.
Original work.
Ham with a crowd on his side. They went bananas when the women's team took gold. The men had to settle for silver behind China, and it's once again the top American gymnast and the top Chinese gymnast battling it out for first and second. Good stuff from Han.
Good lines. Wow, and the kick out from pike back dismount, showing the judges that he can do that any day of the week, whenever he's asked. Fantastic.
Now this will be interesting. Is that enough to take him into the lead with one rotation to go? Remember, it's Ham on high bar and it's Yang Wei on the floor. Lovely, lovely dismount. Great routine. Scoping with the pressure well. Does bring its own pressure, performing in front of your home fans, but he seems to feed off them, and especially after that women's team gold. They, the crowd, are in the mood. He stays second as Paul Ham, 9.662, but look at that, there is very little in it. One rotation to go. Yang Wei from Paul Ham. Yerimbetov of Kazakhstan currently occupying the last podium place, and all of these can forget any chance of a medal. They're battling it out for the minor places. Disappointing from Yobchev. Here we go then. Tomita with a chance of bronze, but he needs to nail this routine. Yerimbetov only 9.450 on his floor routine. That could let in Tomita.
Kovacs with full turn. Very difficult work. Stupendo to Healy. Stoop stole the full turn, and Stoop stole the 1.5 turn. Exceptionally difficult combination of work. And the dismount, he's got to go.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good. Well, he's making us believe he thinks it's enough.
Sometimes very difficult. Every gymnast responds differently, and the Japanese, not the most over emotional of people to show their emotion, and others go absolutely nuts. Is he happy?
Remember watching Li Xiaopeng in the men's team final, nailed a vault, and whatever the Chinese for come on was, he roared it.
They are almost as different as chalk and cheese, the Chinese and the Japanese.
Lovely routine from Tomita. The all-important mark, he's got it. He's been assured of bronze, 9.687. It could, of course, be gold if Yang Wei and Paul Ham make big mistakes on their final rotations. Yang Wei, the leader to go first. He's on the floor. He needs something special. He has to assume that Paul Ham will produce on the high bar.
Double twisting, double straight. Little pike to the end, but nailed. Two and a half twisting somersault, punch front somersault. The obligatory strength movement. Was it held for 2 seconds?
This is where you start to tire. It's been a long competition. And it's nearly over. Can he finish with a flourish? Can he ever? Can he ever? Now then, nothing between them, remember. After 5 rotations, practically nothing. He likes the mark. There you go. That's expressiveness for you. I can tell you, you haven't got it on your screens yet, but the mark is 9.662. And what a finish to this all-around final. The body's hurting at this stage. 5 and nearly 6 routines completed. And it was, well, look at that reaction to the mark. Look at that. Great stuff from Yang Wei. Will it be gold? I can tell you that Ham, on the horizontal or high bar, as we call it, horizontal in the United States, he needs a score of 9.712 or better for gold. He knows what he has to do. What a finish. The crowd can hardly watch. Here he goes.
Shoot handstand, Stolder. Kovacs with full turn. Great stuff. Kachev, beautifully high, and a straddled, and a pike, and a ginger. That's a combination that Nemov did. That's fantastic. Crowd love it.
And the dismount, and the dismount. Look at the crowd, look at the crowd. He thinks he's done it. To be honest, I think he's done it. That was a wonderful routine, especially when you remember 2001, when a fall off the high bar cost him gold, cost him a medal when he was leading by a mile. He knew what he had to do. It was the same last piece of apparatus, and look at that. And he's done it, and he's done it. 9.775. Paul Ham of the United States continues this amazing wave of medals. The women, the patched-up women's team, taking team gold. The men's team silver, and now all-around gold for Paul Ham. Wonderful stuff, and he produced, John, when he needed to. Just put it into context.
Absolutely.
How good was that high bar routine?
When you know that you have to perform, you know you have to do the routine, you know you have to stick your dismount, the pressure is huge, and he did it, and he deserves every ounce.
Especially remembering that it was the high bar that cost him 2 years ago. Deserved gold, wonderful competition from Paul Ham. Yang Wei has to settle for silver once again. Tomita does take bronze. And I guess it's a bit unkind, but we're calling these the also rounds. What a competition. Ham against Yang Wei. Wow, it's been some World Championships so far. We have all the individual apparatus finals and the women's all-around to come for you on Monday on Eurosport. But it's Paul Ham's night. Gold, once again, for the USA. Thanks for your company. We'll see you soon.